Hello, everyone. If we have not met, my name is Sari, and I'm so happy and honored to be here. Thank you to the Greenwin group for having me here for your sweet events. I'm going to take you through a 35 to 40-minute yoga practice today. We're going to focus on opening up the hips. The weather's getting colder, and so we want to make sure that, we are staying active and open during these colder months because we tend to hibernate and curl in. So today's practice will be all about opening up through the hips, the chest a little bit as well, but making sure that we can get into the hips and, 360 degrees. Okay. So as always, we're going to start with a meditation. And before we start our practice today, make sure that you have some yoga props. So really anything around the house that you can utilize to help you in your practice. So if you got a couch cushion, a pillow, a throw blanket, grab a towel, maybe a bathrobe strap. If there's toys around, baskets, whatever, books are great for blocks as well. And so these props just support you in a practice. So let's meet right in the center of our mat today. I'm just going to move my blanket back. So the reason that I'm sitting on my blanket here and I'm kind of on the edge of it is that it helps to give your low back and your thighs a little bit more space, right? It's just taking your pelvic bowl and just giving it a little tip forward so you can sit up a little bit taller. So it's not easy to sit up tall, right? It takes a lot of core strength. And when we try to just sit up tall without a back of a chair, right away, you notice how much work it is. So with the blanket here, it gives us a little bit more space. And whenever you're ready, you're going to just bring your hands to your thighs. And today we're going to spin the palms up. I need a little bit of energy today. And so if you feel the same and that resonates, spin your palms up and let's dive in. So for our meditation, you can keep your eyes open. And if you're going to do that, just take your gaze down the tip of the nose or feel free to close them up. And start to turn your attention inward. Take a moment to just feel the blanket and the mat and the floor beneath you and the space around you. And then just begin to feel your body. And if you've never been asked that, because we're not really asked that, except if you're in perhaps an exercise or yoga class, feel your body. So feel the sensations in the body, maybe in your back or your shoulders or your neck. And acknowledge it all with a few breaths. Take a deep inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, take that breath right to the back of the throat. Exhale through the mouth. 1 more time. And just to make sure that you are breathing deep, you're going to bring a left palm flat onto your heart and a right palm onto your belly. And I want you to breathe into your chest. So feel your left hand kind of elevate a little off the chest and your right hand elevates a little off the belly. And then exhale, release the breath through the mouth. Doing that a few more times. Inhale, filling up the chest, filling up the belly. Exhale. Repeat. Inhale. And exhale. Do that 3 more times while I give you some more cues. So we're not just filling up the front of the body, but it's the sides of the body, the back of the body, right? We are this 3-dimensional being that needs new oxygen, that needs to breathe, that needs to calm all of our systems. We're just going to take 1 more breath here together. Release your hands, open up the eyes, enjoy your class. So know that if you do nothing else but that, you're golden, right? Body will feel more relaxed. Your mind will feel more relaxed. You'll feel more centered. That's what counts here. So let's get moving. Let's come onto our back. That's where we're going to start today. So you're just going to come to bring the soles of the feet down. I have a trusty strap here. You may or may not need it, but I just want to give you all of the options. And come to lie down on your back. And right away, just start by giving yourself a hug. You can take your knees apart and just rock side to side, left side to right side to left side. Just creating these figure eights on your back. Just working out any kinks. Let's take another breath here. And then you're going to bring the soles of your feet down to the mat. You're then going to take your right ankle and cross it over your left thigh. And you're going to take both hands and you're going to press them into your thighs. Right hand's going to press into the right thigh, left hand's going to press into the left thigh. So this might be enough for you. Some of you, you might be feeling it already in that outer right hip. Great. If you want to increase sensation, lift your left foot off of the mat, okay? And you can actually hook your hands onto the right shin, okay, like a handlebar pulling in. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper, interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and hug the left knee in. You're going to feel it in that outer right hip. Notice if your chin is lifting up and jetting up, pull it in. So there's no right and no wrong here. You're just moving at your own pace and into a pose that works for you. So it's not really about the pose. It's what's getting you to feel, because that's what this practice is all about. Let's take another breath in. Exhale. You're just going to release the sole of your left foot down. Hug your right knee into the chest. And then this is where you can take a strap if you like. So if you want to, you can strap up your right foot. If you don't have a strap, that's okay. I'm going to give you more options. And so all you're doing is pressing that right heel to the ceiling. You can also interlace your fingers behind your right leg and just pull in. And so with our left knee bent, it actually helps us to get into our low back. We have more movement with the right leg. Take another inhale and exhale. Last one. And then soles of the feet down to the mat. And all you're going to do is bring your hands down by your side, and like windshield wipers, you're just going to rock the knees left to right. It's the first day all week, if you're in Toronto, that we didn't need our windshield wipers. Maybe we did this morning, actually. Okay. So let's come back to center. Soles of the feet down, left ankle over that right thigh. Start there. Palms press into your thighs. So that's all I'm doing. I'm not pushing into my knee. I'm not pushing into my foot. Our knees don't like that. Our ankles don't like that. Just press your hands into the thighs. Take 2 breaths here. This may be enough for you. If not, maybe you grab hold of your left shin and you pull this in. You're going to feel it here in the outer left thigh. Maybe interlacing your fingers behind your right leg. And flex your feet a lot. This will help protect the knees and the positions that we're in. And so remember, the magic of all these poses is not so much the pose, but the breath. So you meet whatever you feel with your breath. Let's take another inhale. And exhale. Sole of the right foot comes down. I'm going to start by hugging my left knee into the chest. Stay here. You could strap up your left foot or interlace your fingers anywhere behind this left leg. We just want to go for a hamstring stretch here. And again, with my right leg bent, I'm just accessing more of my left leg. Hold it here. Relax the shoulders. Breathe in. And breathe out. Two more breaths, and then we'll get moving. Good. Left foot down, and then again, just knock your knees side to side, windshield wipers. Just a couple times. And then we're going to hug our knees to our chest. Bring your hands behind your thighs, and you're just going to start to rock up and down on the spine 1 or 2 times until you come all the way up to a standing forward fold at the top of your mat. And so if your fingertips don't touch the mat easily, even with your knees bent, this is what all these props are for, right? You bring the ground to you. But what I don't want you to do is just kind of round your back and hang here. I want you to just really relax. Take a deep breath in and exhale. From here, you're going to roll it all the way up to stand. And we're going to keep our feet hips distance apart. We're going to bring our palms together, thumbs to our heart center. Take a breath here. Stand tall. Stand firmly in your place. Breath in. And breath out. On your next inhale, you're going to find a little chair pose. So I know we've all been sitting a lot. So press your hips back, but this is a little bit more challenging. Right? No back. Pulling those hips way back here. We're just going to hold it here for 3. Navel in, pull everything in. 2. Take another breath in. And then exhale, slowly fold all the way down to the floor or the blocks. You're going to bring your hands to the shins. You're going to lift your chest up halfway. And then you're going to step your right foot way back to a long lunge. You're going to bring the right knee down. Release your back toes. Now, if you have any knee issues, feel free to fold over the side of the mat, prop up your knee on the mat or a blanket, walk your hands up your left thigh. So from here, I just want you to put a little pressure on letting your hips sink. Yeah, so you get deep into that right hip flexor. And then if you feel like you're going a little bit too deep, starting to get into the low back, push back with that left foot. Okay, we're going to start to build now. So inhale, arms up. We're here for 3 breaths. Okay, 3. That's it. Lift through the heart. 2. So I have one more variation here. Okay, remember, it's all about the hips. Bring your hands behind your back, interlacing your fingers. Open up the chest here. Stay with me here for 3 more breaths. 3. Look up. Right, so notice if your ribs are really flaring, see if you can pull them back a little bit and just send this bright heart to the sky. Last breath. Good. Your hands are going to come down, and then you're going to step your left knee back. And we're going to do a few what we call cat and cows, where you're going to arch the back as you look up, and then exhale, round through the back. We're going to do that with toes tucked under. We're going to inhale, arch the back. Exhale, round through the back. One more time. And exhale. From here, all you're going to do now is lift your hips and press them all the way back to our A frame, which is a downward facing dog. So if you feel a lot of weight just dumping into the shoulders, bend your knees so you can reach your hips back more. So you got to actively push through the palms. You can't just hang out there. Take 2 more breaths. Breathe in and out. 1 more. We're going to lift up to the tippy toes. You're going to look forward to your hands. Take a little froggy jump to the top of the mat. Good. Hands to the shins. You're going to inhale, look up, lift the chest up halfway, then fold. From here, you're going to rise all the way up. Good. And then palms to the heart center. We're going to do that whole sequence again on the other side. So first, let's find that chair. My feet are hips distance apart, and I'm going to send my hips back. Right? Notice if your toes turn in or out. Try to get those feet parallel. Right? Our feet are the way we stand is usually a habit. Right? And what this practice provides us with is bringing our body back into alignment. Okay? I think about it like putting Humpty Dumpty back together again, okay? Let's take one more breath here as you come into those goddess arms. 3 more here. 3. Yeah, go a little bit deeper. 2. Send those elbows forward. And 1. Keep your knees bent and then fold. Tip over the pelvic bowl. And then from here, you're going to bring your hands to the shins. Lift the chest up halfway. Bring the palms down. You're going to step your left foot way back to a long lunge, releasing your back knee, releasing the back toes. You're going to start to walk your hands up this right thigh. And then again, remember, we're here for a little bit. So if this left knee is sensitive, knee issues, prop it up. You don't want to be in pain when you're doing these poses. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything out of it. So we want to support the body as we strengthen it, as we stretch it. And that's why we have all these props, truly. So remember, we're just going to sink the hips a little bit. If you feel it in your low back, push into that right foot so you pull back. Right now, the stretch is here in that left hip flexor. If you're feeling sensation here, exactly where you're supposed to be. Maybe your right hamstring too if you're pushing through that right heel. So again, let's start to build it up. Arms reach up. And so as the arms lift up, this will also remind you to lift the chest so we're not dumping into the low back. That's not what we want to do. We want to get a nice stretch here, but we want to lift out of the pelvis. Let's stay here for another breath. Good. Last pose. Hands behind the back. Interlace your fingers and see if you can interlace them. It's called the non-dominant way. So most of the time, if we clasp our hands, we usually do it in the same way all the time. So do it in the way where you have to think about it a little bit. And then from here, let's lift the chest. Hold it here. 3, 2. Good. And 1. Hands come down. Either side of the right foot. Pull the right knee back. Curl the toes under. Palms under the shoulders. This sequence is a little bit different than the last. So let's find that cat-cow again, that movement with the spine. But this time, let's inhale with a rounded spine. Chest drops. Inhale, round. Exhale, lift the chest. Inhale, round. Exhale, lift the chest. One more time. And then come back into that downward dog, right? When you first start yoga, I know downward dog is really challenging. But after a while, I promise, it's not that it becomes less challenging. It's a lot of work to hold our body up like this. But you start to understand the dynamics. So start to really lift those hips up. Push the mat away from you. And then on your next breath, you're going to start to take your chest forward to a plank. You're going to drop the knees. And then you're going to lower the chest down to the mat. We're going to work into a cobra. So spread through the fingers. Push down through the tops of the feet. Roll your shoulders up and back. So I send my heart forward. And it's a real lift here rather than a press. Exhale, lower. Let's do that one more time. Right? Back body is really working. And then release. You're going to curl your toes under. Tap your hips to the heels. Child's pose. And then find a downward facing dog. So let's do a standing sequence here. We're going to lift our right leg up to the sky. You're going to look to the right thumb and you're going to step your right foot up. And if it doesn't make it there the first time, it doesn't matter. Maybe it just goes halfway. Step your right foot up to the right thumb. Spin your left heel in and down. Okay, so my back leg is straight. My front leg is bent 90 degrees. I'm going to reach my left arm forward to swing all the way up. We call this warrior 2. So my front leg is bent 90 degrees. I want you to look out your right fingertips. We're just here for 3 breaths. And then we're going to start to turn up the heat. Hold it here, 3. Maybe lower the hips a little bit more too. Good. Here is your reprieve. So straighten the leg for a moment. Interlace the fingers again behind your head, behind your back. Open up the chest. So you can stay here, okay, and just enjoy this, or rebend your front leg and start to tip the chest forward just for 3 breaths. Arms reach up and over your head. We call this humble warrior. We're here for 3. 2. That's it. Last one. Find your feet. Find the center of the body, lift up. I know it's challenging. Warrior 2, arms extend out. Stay with me in your legs. Reverse your warrior just for a breath. Your left arm just drapes down the back leg. Good. Hands come down. Step all the way back to your downward dog. So here's the beautiful thing about these flows. You can stay here and just stretch, or come forward to a plank, drop the knees, bend your elbows, build a little bit more strength in the arms. Find that cobra, 1 cobra, and release. Now you can move through the child's pose to downward dog, or maybe straight up to plank, and then downward dog. Now, if downward dog gets exhausting for you, take little breaks in the child's pose. Hold it here for another 3 breaths. Just allow your body to have some time to be still and to breathe. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Step your left foot up to the left thumb. So again, don't worry about it making it there in 1 step. Take as many steps as you need. Release your right heel down. Reach your right arm all the way up and back. Find your warrior 2. So if I look down at my feet, the arch of my front foot, if I was to draw a straight line, would go all the way, the heel of my left foot would go the line would go down all the way to the arch of my right foot. Okay? Bend your front leg, arms extend out. Breathe here. Gazes at your left fingertips. 1 more breath. I know I have you hanging here. Good. So straighten that left leg. Remember, this is your reprieve. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Open up the chest. Stay here or come back to that warrior 2 and then fold. Humble warrior. We're not here for long. So you got to get really strong in your legs. 3. Breathe for every count. If you're shaking, you're in the right place. Good. Keep your legs as they are. Use the core to lift up. I know it's not easy. Extend the arms out, warrior 2. Reverse it. So the right arm drops down the back leg. Left fingertips reach behind you all the way back to your downward dog. Take your time. Stay here. Or again, you can flow to your plank. Lowering down. And release. Now let's go back to our dog and hold it here for 3 breaths. I hope your legs are starting to feel energized and warm. One more breath here. So since our hips are pretty open, we're going to rise up to the tippy toes. We're going to bend the knees, look forward. Take a little froggy jump to the top of the mat. Hands move to the shins, look forward. And then slowly fold in. You're going to roll all the way up to stand. Take a big shoulder roll back. Take a moment and breathe. Okay. So we're going to do a little balancing sequence now. And I'm going to give you lots of options. So if you have blocks or anything that looks like blocks that can elevate the floor and bring it up to you, or maybe help you with your balance, this is a good time to grab them, okay? So we're going to shift the weight, and I'll show you different angles of the pose, but we're going to shift the weight into that left foot, and just like we did on our backs, we're going to take our right ankle, we're going to cross it over our left thigh, and we're going to sit back into the chair. I'll show you what it looks like front view. Right, hips back, chest forward. It's that figure 4 position. And so you can balance here. You can also start to lean the chest forward. Maybe your forearms come down to the right shin, maybe hands to the blocks here. But you can get into that outer right hip again. You can let the head go. You can even bring your hands to the floor, right? Wherever your floor is, or balance. Stay right here. Breath in and out. Good. 2 more. Last one. We got one more balancing sequence, or one more balancing pose. So shift the weight into the left foot. You're going to pull your right knee into the chest. And so some of you might stay here. Some of you might start to straighten your right leg. Maybe interlace your fingers behind your right leg. Right? So stay with the right knee bent or straight. Look forward. Hold it here. Another 3 breaths. Notice if you're leaning back. Try to pull the chest forward as you lift the right leg. 1 more breath. This is a lot of core, a lot of glute work. And done. Shake it out. Okay, let's do the other side. So right away, weight moves to the right foot. Bend your left knee, cross left ankle over right thigh. So again, I'll show you what it looks like from the front. I sit back into that chair, except this time it's just one-legged. Palms together, right? And you're either moving your chest forward or staying upright. How we balance here on the right is always different than how we balance on the left. Right? And so here's the thing with balancing poses. If you fall, you come right back in, right? If you find that you get a little bit frustrated, then give up. It's just the ego. It's not you. So we come back. 2 more breaths. Now I will tell you, if you're doing this on carpet or a rug, you have a disadvantage because you're not pushing your foot into a solid ground. So try to find a space where maybe you have some floor. And then left knee to the chest. Either interlace your fingers in front of the left shin or under that left thigh. Hold it here firmly. So notice if you're leaning back, try to lean forward, crown of the head lifts. Hold it here, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Slowly release. Great. Okay, let's come to sit down. Just a little bit more work in the hips. So you can move your blocks off to the side. I want to do a little bit more core because if you've noticed, a little core is inserted throughout the whole practice, right? So as we open up our low back, as we open up our hips, right, then we can really get in touch with our true core. Because often if our core is not strong or something is tight, then we don't have access to all of the parts and learn how to activate them. So here you're going to lift up through the chest. You're going to look up. You're going to walk your toes back. And this could be where you're hanging, where you're living. This is called boat pose. Lift through the chest. Maybe 1 leg goes up, maybe 2 legs. Maybe keep your hands behind your thighs. Another option, fingertips out. Hold here, 5. And 4. 3. You got this. 2. And 1. Heels down, sitting up tall. So if you have a trusty blanket, let's grab it for this next pose. It's called cobbler's pose, or as I teach my kids when they participate, butterfly pose. So soles of the feet together. I can just turn to show you this way. And so sitting up on the blanket gives you a little bit more space in your low back and your hips, just like it did when you were sitting cross-legged. Same kind of thing. I'm going to turn around to give you a side view in a moment, but from here, I just want you to bring your hands to the feet. You can close your eyes for a moment. Try to sit up as tall as you can. I'm pressing the outer edges of my feet together as my knees start to extend to opposite sides of the room. Now, for some of you, this is a lot. Stay here. If you want to, you can also fold forward. Maybe walk your hands out, or maybe pressing your elbows into the thighs. So not the knees, not the hip flexors, but the thighs. And so again, I'm hinging from my hips, right? And not rounding through my back, because this doesn't do a lot, right? You can even do this and you'll notice you don't feel anything in the hips. You're going to feel it in your spine. I want you to stay lifted. Maybe walk your hands forward. Let the head go. Pressing the feet together, sending the chest forward. And then coming all the way up. Good. From here, you're going to draw the knees together. And we're going to come down onto our backs. We're going to hug our knees to our chest. Just for a moment, hug in. We're almost there. You're going to bring the soles of the feet down. So you know this. We were here before, except this time we're going to do a figure 4 twist. You're going to cross your right ankle over your left thigh. You can come into those goddess arms. And then start to bring your right foot down towards the left side of your mat. Gaze to the right. So, right, I had my figure 4, and all I'm doing is keeping my figure 4, but letting my legs tip to the left. That's it. Gaze to the right, opposite direction. And once you're there, it's not about waiting till my next cue. It's about breathing here into the sides of the body. Specifically right now, the right side of the hip. Take another breath in. And exhale. Bringing your legs back up to center, soles of the feet down. Left ankle over right thigh. Take a deep breath in. Now my legs are going to go to the right. And as I take my gaze to the left, I remember that however my legs fell to the left doesn't mean that they're going to fall the same way on the right. We have 2 different sides. We have a dominant side of our body that we use. We have a tighter side, a more open side. So we have to honor it all. Take one more inhale here. And exhale. Unwind those legs. And last little bit. So if you have some energy, you're going to come into a bridge pose. And if you worked really hard, got it all out, low fuel, grab a block or a book or a brick or anything. My kids have these cardboard bricks, and I use them for everything. Use them to prop up the computer. So I can tune in here. So you can use those. Lift your hips up and maybe take a block underneath the hips. Arms come down by your side. Stay here and relax, or lift up through the hips, interlace your fingers, and draw the arms under the back. Push into the feet. Opening up through the chest. Sending the heart open. We're here for 3 more breaths. And then exhale, release. Knock the knees side to side. When you're ready, hug both knees into the chest. And then we're going to move into our final resting pose, which is called Shavasana. Arms come down by your sides. You close the eyes. And you're going to give yourself 2 minutes to just lie here. And the healing happens, the shifts happen, the nervous system shifts when we feel the difference of when we sat down on the mat 40 minutes ago and where we are now, how clear we are, more open, more sensitive. I'm going to give you 1 more minute just to relax, and feel free to stay as long as you want. There is no rush here, but when you are ready to come out of your practice, just going to take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale. So you're bringing awareness back into this renewed body. You're going to stretch your arms all the way up and over the head. And then you're going to bend your knees again, roll over to the right side of the body, and you're going to pause. And you're going to honor yourself for carving out this time, for tending to your body and your health and your mind and your heart. Whether you did all the poses or 2 poses, it doesn't really matter. So using your left palm to press you up to any seated position that feels good. Take another breath here, palms at the heart center. And actually, let's take a moment of gratitude here for a gift or 2 or 3 in our life. Often we are looking for what's wrong, and we don't have to look far these days. So what is right? What are we grateful for? It doesn't have to be deep. Maybe it's this practice. Maybe it's that you have a quiet house. Maybe it's that your house is full and loud. Maybe it's your coffee. I want to thank you so much for inviting me here into your home. Thank you for your presence and your trust. Namaste.